Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. Today we're doing a special reading for the Chinese New Year. So this is going to be the year of the water tiger. I was looking around to see if I could find any cards from different decks that had tigers on, but I don't really have that many. I really was struggling to find them. I was seeing ones that had lions on, but not so much tigers. So instead I've gone for messages from the goddesses. Okay, so what we've got here is, these aren't tarot cards, which I would usually have. I would usually have different types of tarot decks on the piles so that each pile would get a different tarot deck, but today instead what I'm doing is using a different set of oracle cards on each pile. So they're all a different goddess deck from Alana Fairchild, and we will be getting messages from the goddess that you choose in your pile. So we will look at that in a moment. We're also going to be using my new god cards. I've been making these inner masculine cards for the past few weeks. I'm really excited to use them, so you'll also be getting a message from a god as well to sort of balance out the masculine and feminine energy. I'm going to be using these cards to help heal your inner masculine and your experience of the divine masculine in the world. Throughout my readings, I'm also going to be offering a special kind of reading for this on Etsy soon. So that's what we're doing today. Happy New Year, especially if you're celebrating, if you're Chinese. Xin Yan Kuai Le. And yeah, I'm really excited for this reading. So we're going to be seeing what's coming up for you, obviously, in the new year, what the new, the Chinese New Year brings in terms of energy for you. So that's what we're going to be seeing, what the new year holds for you, and what new things are starting, or what advice the goddesses have for you as you enter the new year. Okay, so let's take a look at the piles, but before we do, I want to say a big thank you as always to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including Alexandra, Kelly, Joan, Nicole, Cara and Mia. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for all of your support and kindness. And in fact, on Patreon, there will be a little extended version of this reading because I'm going to be pulling a special card from each of the goddesses, and I'll be doing a big write-up of what it says in the guidebook for that card, so you'll be able to pick an extra card if you're a patron. If you go over to Patreon, that should be there now, or if it's not, it'll be there very, very soon. So let's take a look at the piles today. So group 1, we've got Kuan Yin. So for group 1, we'll be getting messages from the goddess Kuan Yin, also known as Avalokiteshvara. Just ask yourself what's coming in for me in this Chinese New Year, or what can I expect, what new energies are coming towards me, what advice do the goddesses have for me. On pile 2 we have goddess Isis or Orset. And on pile 3 we have Kali Ma. Okay, so the Kuan Yin Oracle, the Isis Oracle, and the Kali Oracle. It's a bit of a simple choice today. There's not so much on the piles. We'll be using the Circle of Life Tarot for each reading because I thought that was quite a nice fitting deck to use for the Chinese New Year. So take your time, choose based on your intuition. You might have one of these goddesses as your patron deity, and so you're going to choose that pile regardless of what it says. But if you are feeling drawn to another pile as well, if you're choosing a patron deity, then please do take a look at that pile because that's probably got some very accurate messages for you. Ultimately, choosing with your intuition gives you the most accurate reading, so it's not going by your favorite deck or your favorite pile marker. When I use those, it's choosing with your intuition, and at the end of the day, what we want is to get the most accurate reading in these videos, so that's what we're here to do. So take your time, and when you're ready, I will get started with pile number 1, the Kuan Yin Oracle. Hey there, group 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose Kuan Yin, then this is going to be your reading. We'll see what's coming up for you in the Chinese New Year, or what new energies this new year is bringing in for you, as well as what guidance and advice the goddess and also a god, whoever comes through for you, has for you. So I think we will start out your reading with a Kuan Yin message from the Kuan Yin Oracle, and then we'll move on to tarot, and then we'll do some various oracle cards. I've picked a few different ones that I felt chimed quite well with the theme of the Chinese New Year. So let's consult Kuan Yin first. Let's see what message or advice or guidance that she has for you as we enter this new year and the shifts and changes that brings in our energy. Okay, so Kuan Yin is saying weave the future golden, and that is number 44, which is quite a special number because it is a double number. So let's get the guidebook and just read the introduction to this card. So weave the future golden. Oh, this is nice. This says something good is coming your way. Kuan Yin urges you to weave your future into the present moment, to call in and to draw to you the opportunities, teachings, and circumstances and synchronicities waiting for you that will enable your soul to live its divine destiny with greater abundance, bliss, and creative fulfillment. And if we just go a little bit further, because it's quite a short introduction, it says, do you know how much the divine wishes to support and assist you in living your heart's truth this lifetime? Kuan Yin, with grace and compassion, wishes to help you ascend to the next level of your life expression so that your soul light may shine more brightly on the planet and help you and other beings to live with more heart and less fear. You can choose to live a life infused with the golden energy of peace, prosperity, joy, and creativity. A future so golden is being woven into your present moment now, like a tapestry. With the choices and actions that you make in this moment, you call into being the divine golden tapestry of future bliss. Clever you. Okay, so this is a lot about planning for your future and being optimistic as well. There's a strong sense of optimism with that card. I'm wondering if you might want to wear gold, maybe to greet the new year, or just as you go through the first few days of the new year, maybe have some golden jewelry on, or wear something that's sort of golden or maybe yellow colored, just to bring that energy in with you. Sounds like there's going to be opportunities coming your way for you to level up spiritually and help you to live in a more heart-centered way, less dictated or controlled by fear, more able to express your authentic self. Let's get some tarot cards. Okay, so you've got the Five of Pentacles from the Circle of Life Tarot. You have also got the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. And the Three of Wands. Okay, so you've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn showing up in your reading so far. And I like the Three of Wands because that really fits nicely with the message from Kuan Yin about there being opportunities now to expand and to sort of grow more into your authentic self. The Three of Wands is all about plans working out well. It's about expansion, broadening your horizons, increasing your possibilities. It can be a point where you have achieved something or gotten a good result, but you're not prepared to just sit back and relax. Now that you've got that outcome, you're already thinking about the next project. It's talking about sort of weaving that blueprint, which is very much what Kuan Yin was saying about weaving the tapestry of your future. And actually, this looks like there's some weaving or knitting or something going on here with this interesting cloth that's being created. So the Five of Pentacles typically comes out when we feel lacking in opportunity, when we feel limited somehow. So this could have been how you're feeling as you're entering the new year or in the sort of preceding months. And then the Queen of Pentacles is this ability to change things around, your ability to put the effort in, your care and attention that you direct towards yourself, your loving, nurturing energy that allows you to grow anything. And then obviously that Three of Wands. So it's kind of a timeline is how I'm seeing those cards. So we'll get an Ancestor card because ancestors are very important in Chinese culture. Oh, you actually have two. So nature spirits, elves, fairies, rock formations, and honor the deities around you. Prayers, offerings, help. Wow, I mean, that's incredible. Both of these are talking about being aware of the help that's available, aren't they? Like nature spirits, elementals, deities, honor them. It's talking about the fact that you're not alone as you go through life and that there is a lot of help around you, but you need to acknowledge it, or you need to ask for that help, or you need to say thank you to those invisible helpers that you do have. This could also mean that making an offering to Kuan Yin will help you to improve your relationship with her now. But there's a lot of spiritual help around you right now, and that's what your ancestors want to highlight. Okay, then here we've got number 36, shine bright like a candle. You will make it through this. Now that fits very, very nicely with your 5 of Pentacles and then Queen of Pentacles, 3 of Wands message. And number 11, changed in the night. You have changed quickly. Wow. Okay, so it may be a very sudden turnaround. So you may be feeling like a situation has been dragging on for very long. It's very difficult or painful. You're not really sure how to change it or whether it's even possible for it to have a positive outcome. But it feels as though either your attitude changes very suddenly, and it could literally be on the Chinese New Year night, or it could be shortly after that, or the external situations change very suddenly, and it's like, oh, this was the expected trajectory and this is actually how it's worked out, and so it's worked out a lot better than I expected, or the chips have sort of fallen in a way that is now more beneficial to me than I would have earlier anticipated. Okay, so have an optimistic outlook is what I feel you're being encouraged to do. Dried Flower Fairy, Sweet Memories, number 11, and that's the second time in a row now that you've got the number 11, and obviously you got the number 44 previously, so you're getting a few repeated numbers, and sometimes known as master numbers. So Sweet Memories can be when you sort of reflect on the past and feel as though the past was a much easier time. It's often, you know, a rose-tinted glasses kind of vibe where you only remember the good things about the past because the struggles have kind of melted. As time goes by, you don't really remember them as much. So it's just remembering that the memories that you have of the past are not necessarily objective. And if you're yearning for the past in some way, or to go back to a time that you can no longer go back to, it's just about reminding yourself that actually you're a different person now, and that place is no longer conducive to your growth. Or actually, yes, I can remember the nice times and I can have those enjoyable memories, but I wouldn't want to go back because it really wasn't as easy as I'm remembering it. Or, you know, if I went back, there would be no opportunities for growth anymore. Just reminding yourself of those little things so that you don't get caught in the hook of nostalgia. Getting a lot of double cards. So you have First Breath, Beginner's Mind, number 21, and that's a great message to have as you enter a new year. And also Dances on One Foot, number 9, Balancing Act. Okay, Balancing Act. And I think with these two cards showing up, and also the messages about change, I think it's about having that balance between, as we go into this new year period, sort of reflecting on the past year, or maybe past experiences even of Chinese New Year. You might have a very special memory connected to that sort of period of time. And obviously, like I said, reflecting on the past year, because when we get to the end of the year, we do tend to sort of think about what's gone on in the past 12 months and what we want to achieve in the next 12 months. So it's having that balance between reflecting on the past and enjoying that reflection or enjoying those memories, but also being ready to experience something new. When we reflect too much on the past, we can become a little bit afraid of change, or we can be reluctant about the thought of our future. It might seem scary to us, or it might seem a little bit overwhelming. But equally, when we think only about the future, we can become very disconnected from our past and our sense of identity. So it's about having that nice balance where you can look back on your past positively and understand what you've learned from it, but equally not want to live there. Be also excited for your future and enjoying whatever your present can bring you as well. Distant thunder, clear the air. So I think that's similar. this sort of change message and this build-up of nostalgia, or this build-up of stuff that's gone on that now needs to be evaluated or analysed or cleared. It's like we're reaching that point where you can finally just sit and experience that change without it being destructive. You're ready for a change. It's been coming for a long time, I think. Another double card. So you've got bat. Okay, and also swan. And look at the reflection that's going on there, that image of reflection. Really think that it's a very reflective time for you, and that it's just important to strike that balance, that middle point. Let me just get the guidebook for this one, because I do quite like how it's worded. So bat, when I think of the bat, I think of the shadow self, and I think of fear and dealing with those darker aspects of our psyche that maybe aren't very comfortable, but which nonetheless do need to be dealt with. Let me just find it in the guidebook. So darkness, letting go, death leading to rebirth. Before emerging, the bat waits for the sun to set and the moon to rise. And that's important because the Chinese New Year is based on the lunar calendar, not the solar calendar like the Western New Year. So that's important. It's going to be a new moon in Aquarius when the New Year changes. In the darkness, it can see all that was invisible in the daylight hours. The bat is a master of the subtle senses, of the underlying forces that cause some things to prosper and others to fade. The bat card shows up to signify the ending of a chapter, the closing of a door. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move on. In just a few hours, a new day dawns. No more lingering in the past. That's perfect. When in balance, this person is accepting, adaptable, and adjusts. When out of balance, they refuse to let go and they reminisce. Oh my goodness. Wow. And to bring themselves into balance, they need to watch the sunrise. And I mean, that could be to do with staying up for the new year and celebrating that and enjoying it. Just having that physical sense of transition, that physically defining point. Okay, and Swan is effortlessly creative, a sensitive mystic, and has elegant power. The swan represents heightened creativity. In Hindu mythology, the goddess Sarasvati, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry, rides on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention, for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. When in balance, this person has infinite creative power. When out of balance, they are agitated, snippy, or lacking vision. And to bring themselves back into balance, they need solo time or to engage in writing. So that is really, really interesting. So possibly if we bring the two of them together, and all of these messages about nostalgia and needing a change and sort of having all of this energy built up that needs to be dealt with, possibly having a new journal, if you weren't able to do that for the solar new year on the 1st of January, having a new journal or a new diary maybe to write in will give you that sense of freshness, that sense of newness as we move forward. So first quarter moon in Taurus, release control. That card's been coming up a lot lately on YouTube readings. So maybe it's a big message for the collective right now, is just release control. But definitely I think that fits nicely with this surrendering to change and this understanding that we can't dwell in the past anymore, but equally it's not just about dwelling in the past, it's also about not dwelling in your comfort zone, which I think is what the Five of Pentacles is kind of pointing out, that you feel like you haven't got any space for growth because you're so stuck in a rut, or you're so comfortable right now that you're a little bit afraid of change, but equally that's not bringing you any growth, that sort of vicious cycle. So releasing control is important. Then we have number 49, Goddess Maya and Ruby Aura Quartz, Searing Presence. Okay, we'll get that guidebook in just a moment. I just want to get you a couple of little cards. before we do. So then we have Завертелось, the 9 of circles, but it also looks a bit like number 90, if that means anything to you. Завертелось kind of means like you've spun round and round. And to me, it's kind of like getting a little bit lost, going through the motions and not really seeing the purpose or the motivation anymore. And that definitely really fits with the messages we've received about being in your comfort zone or being stuck in a rut. So I think that's really nice. So just, as I said, going through very repeated things, going back over the past or going through the same old routine. And the new year brings about this ability to change that really quite suddenly. Die Earth Elementals say, hab Geduld. Was du gesät hast, braucht Hingabe, Pflege und Zeit. And Zeit there is in capital letters. So what this says is have patience. What you have sown needs devotion, care, and time. Importantly, time. Okay, so I think that's a really, really cute little card. So let's look at this guidebook for the Goddess Maya card. Number 49. We bring you the empowerment of searing presence. This empowerment enables you to see truth unveiled, naked divinity in all its beauty and mystery. In your willingness to become present, you shall witness the truth that will set your spirit free and make your heart come alive with divine love. No lie, deception, fear, or agenda remains hidden in searing presence, the ruthless compassion of which distills pure truth. With this empowering, you are going to see what you need to see. You're going to be able to see the truth that there is only ever love seeking to free, heal, and discover itself. You will feel the grace that permeates your life and assists all beings. All impatience, doubt, uncertainty, and confusion shall give way, becoming soft like wax melted by a lit candle, and only the beautiful light of truth shall remain. So I think that fits so nicely with this message about being present in the now, in the here and now, and not in the past. I think it also has an interesting resonance with something I said earlier about the hard times of the past sort of melting with time, so you no longer recognize them. That message there about the wax melting. So we started the cards with your goddess message, so let's finish them with your god message, and then we'll move on to your charms and dice, group 1. What does the divine masculine wish to tell you about the energies of the new year? Okay, so we have number 34, Odin, Insight. Wow. Okay, so that does fit really nicely because there's so much here about you thinking and getting perspective and analysing too much, in the sense that it's almost like it's gone too far. You've just spun round so much that the situation has no perspective anymore. You've spun it round by so many angles, or you've reminisced it so many times that it's almost like lost its meaning for you. So what Odin says is that your power lies in gaining important insight, basically. Odin sacrificed one of his eyes, you can see he's wearing an eye patch there, to gain special knowledge and insight. He felt that was a fair trade to get the insight that he was looking for. So when we get insight coming through as your inner masculine message, it means that you really need this important information, and that doesn't mean knowing everything about a situation, because sometimes that's just information overload, as we've mentioned, where you get all of the tiny little nitty-gritty details and it just leaves you with no sense of perspective. It's about absolutely piercing through the situation and seeing the real truth, or the real lesson, or what really needs to be learned or gained or kept from that situation. So that's what Odin is telling you, is focus on the important information, get that insight, and don't dwell too much on the small things or the things that's just kind of extra background information. If it doesn't matter, it's not important. Okay, so we'll move on to your charms now, and then also to your dice. Let's do your charms first. we've got the wintertime charm, the snowman there, and it is landing on the bat. Now, obviously, with it being the start of February, if you're in the northern hemisphere, then it is wintertime right now. But this can also be talking about a symbolic winter. So like we were talking about with the Five of Pentacles, a time where you feel like you have little opportunity, or where everything just feels very samey, very empty in your life right now. So this, I feel, is what is going to change. There seems to be new energy coming in with the new year. We have the letter Q. Now that could be someone's name or surname, it could be a place or a word. Take whatever comes to you intuitively from that, but usually when we get the letter Q, I think of questioning. So when you're sort of questioning yourself or doing a lot of thinking, doing a lot of analysing, and I think that's what Odin was really picking up on, was that sometimes you can analyse a situation too much because it means that you end up ignoring the important information. So it could be that, for example, when you think about your future, you're analysing different career paths over and over again in your mind, looking for something you've missed beforehand, looking for new pros and cons, etc. And Odin is kind of saying, look, go with your gut here. Your first impressions of this situation, or your first understanding that you got when you did some digging or some thinking about these different paths, is going to be what's important, because when you go too far, you lose all sense of perspective, and that insight is kind of useless to you by that point. It becomes clouded by everything else that's drowning it out. Okay, so we've got the wasp showing up here as well, which indicates pain or hurt. And also the Chamber of Secrets entrance charm, which indicates sort of dealing with a monster or a really difficult experience. It can be opening up a can of worms, or it can be doing some really deep healing of your psyche. And that's landing on this card about having patience. Okay, so this could be connected to the wasp, that's why I read them together. Could also be connected to the bat, because as I said, I do see the bat as a symbol of the shadow self and the parts of ourselves that we shun, or that we think are less lovable or less worthy. So that could be part of the energy of the new year, is you working on the shadow self and accepting it and doing some healing there. We've got Pegasus, which is also a healing symbol, but it's also a symbol of creativity and inspiration, and also of divine intervention and rescue. So all of this fits in quite nicely with your other messages. And then you've got the perfume, being attracted to something, or someone being attracted to you, being drawn down a particular path, or you sort of feeling very tempted the first time you hear about something, or the first time you meet someone. It's that intuitive sort of pull, or that first impression drawing you in kind of vibe. And what's interesting about that is it's landing on that card about, you've thought about it too much. Take yourself a few steps back to how it was initially. So let's do your dice now, group 1, for your final messages. So we are going to roll the 7th set of dice for you, and those are the Harry Potter dice, group 1. Let's get those. And we're rolling 2 of them for you today. Okay. Okay, so we've got Voldemort. Okay, so that fits quite nicely with this can of worms message, or the battling of a monster. It could refer to literally the parts of yourself that you don't like, because sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, or sometimes we really do shun these parts of ourselves. And I think that's important with all of the messages about reflection and the past versus the future and healing and the shadow self, because Voldemort and Harry are kind of the same person in some ways. They are really intricately connected with one another. So it's sort of like, you're not me, I don't like you, but at the same time, there are many ways in which we are the same and in which we can connect. So I do think for some of you, this is not so much about another person as it is about the unintegrated, unhealed, unaccepted aspects of yourself. And then, oh my goodness, we've got the people dueling. Absolutely. Wow. So, I mean, literally, okay, you could be in an argument situation with someone else, or there could be someone that you're at loggerheads with, or who is causing a lot of pain in your life. And if that's the case, then the new year brings you the opportunity to either heal that or walk away from that situation. So either bring it together or put it to an end, okay? However, I think for a lot of you, this is about the fact that you're wrestling with yourself. Maybe you're growing and evolving, and so your past self is feeling further and further away from you, and you're wondering if you're losing your identity, when in fact you are growing more into your authentic self. Maybe you are, as I said, on the healing journey, and that can be quite confronting when we notice parts of ourselves that we don't really like as much, and we sort of question. Maybe they're even contradictory with other aspects of ourselves, and that makes us question ourselves a lot. So it's all about self-acceptance and healing, and bringing ourselves back to wholeness, and getting as much of our power as we can. So that is what I'm seeing in your reading today, Group 1. There's a lot here about balance between the past and the future, between yourself, both shadow and light, and knowing as well that this situation that you're stuck in is not going to last forever, because the new year brings opportunities for change, but you've got to accept them. You've got to say yes to those opportunities, or make the most of those circumstances that are brought your way, because otherwise nothing will change. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And there's also this sort of balancing act between the masculine and feminine, the past and the future, knowing that you're not going through this by yourself, because there is a lot of help around you in the spirit realm. So all of these things to take on board, Group 1, and to try and implement as much as you can in your new year. I definitely recommend getting a new journal if that's something you weren't able to do at the start of the solar new year in January. I think that could be really helpful for you to have that sense of a clean break and a new beginning. So that's what I'm seeing in your reading. Thank you so much for being here, Group 1, and have a lovely rest of your day. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of this reading. I would love to hear from you, and please also do like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. That really helps out my channel a lot. Check out the description box or the comments section below for lots of links to get more involved in the work that I do. I have 2 wish lists linked down below if you'd like to send a gift to the channel. That would be very kind. I have new decks that I add there when I see them. If you would like to become a patron, that would be lovely. Over there you can access exclusive content, and you can also help out the channel on a more regular basis, so that's the Patreon link below. You can head over to my Etsy page and book a private reading or healing session with me. I also offer information about your guardian angel over there. Follow me on Instagram for daily oracle cards, and down below we also have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. So to get 10% off beautiful crystal jewelry, just use the link below to validate the discount code, and then apply the code VIOLET at checkout to get 10% off, and you'll get free international shipping on all orders as well. So have a lovely new year, a wonderful start to the Lunar New Year, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. 新年快乐. Hey there, Group 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose Lady Isis, then this is going to be your reading about what energies the Chinese New Year is bringing forth into your life, as well as some advice or guidance from Lady Isis and a god who will be coming through for you as well. So let's see first of all what message Lady Isis wants to give you. Okay, so Lady Isis says, Eye of Horus, Awakening Divine Perception. So we will take a look in the guidebook for some introduction to that card. The Eye of Horus brings divine perception, protection, and insight. You are gifted with certain spiritual abilities, including divine sight, that are awakening and growing now. You have much divine support and protection so that you may grow your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. Okay, so that's a lovely message. So Lady Isis wants you to know that your divine abilities are increasing. Okay, and that means your ability to see things, so your intuition, your ability to maybe see through people who are lying, your ability to sense what the right course of action is for you, the right choices, etc. Your ability to hear your spirit guides, or to notice messages and signs and symbols that are coming through from a higher source to guide you. So all of that is being increased right now, and so Horus is also coming in there, but it's also a message of the fact that you are greatly approved of and protected from Lady Isis and Lord Horus and other divine sources as well. So that's a really lovely validating message for you personally. So let's see what your tarot has to say. We're going to use the Circle of Life tarot because I think that fits the theme of Chinese New Year quite well. Okay, so we have got the Magician. It's a nice card to start out with. I think it fits the Eye of Horus very well. We've got the Three of Cups, and there's this sort of shaman figure, so that also fits quite nicely. And the Ace of Pentacles. So definitely there is this vibe of a new beginning. Okay, it's a new beginning in the sense of your abilities and your need to trust yourself with the Magician, but also it's a new beginning in terms of your finances, career, or health as well. So I would expect with the new year starting to roll in that you start to gain more progress towards your goals. Your finances might improve, or you might be able to feel maybe just more secure financially. There's also an improvement in your personal relationships, especially your friendships and familial relationships. Group 2 with the Three of Cups, this encourages spending more time with loved ones and having more fun generally. So I think relax a little bit is an advice message that's coming through. But also be aware that there's a lot of positive change coming in for you. And definitely you seem to have some really strong psychic abilities that are being heightened, maybe magical abilities as well that are being increased and made more potent by this New Year energy. So we'll get a message from the ancestors as well, because the ancestors are very important in Chinese culture. Spirit guides, insight, guidance, purpose. That's incredible. That fits so well with what I was saying. And then get into nature, coexistence, gather, limit, waste. And that just really fits with this sort of shamanic vibe that I'm getting from you, Group 2, this oneness with nature and this feeling comfortable with all that is. Maybe as the new year comes in, you start to feel more conscious of waste. You maybe want to cut down on, for example, single-use plastics, or maybe you're trying to go vegetarian or vegan or something like that. You're just trying to limit the damage that you do. Maybe you're trying to go carbon neutral. But I think that Spirit Guides message is very important in how it's talking about being able to see or hear your guides and the messages they give more clearly. It's also about the connection to nature. And I mean, there's a falcon there, and it's just literally below Horus, who is himself a falcon. So that's amazing. Or it might be an eagle, but I mean, they're extremely similar. This bird of prey with the keen sight. Death and the Maiden, number 28. Invasion, boundaries violated, dominance. Okay, so this could be unpacking some difficult experiences that you've had in the past. It could be that you, as you enter the new year, no longer are willing to be walked over. You're becoming more assertive. You're becoming clearer of what you want, and you're not willing to let people sort of push you out of the way or tell you what to do. When I get this card, I do often think about really sort of unpacking trauma, though. So there could be some genuine healing with a professional that's going on for you as you enter the new year. Whoa. Okay, quite a few cards coming out there, but we're going to take them all. It's the Wonderland Oracle, so it clearly fits with the message of evolving and transitioning. So changed in the night, number 11, you have changed quickly. This card keeps coming out quite a lot in YouTube readings, so it's clearly a message for the collective. Group 1 got this card as well, but the rest of your cards are all different. So number 41, forget who you are. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. That's an interesting message. Wonder if it's connected to that Death and the Maiden message. 26, it's always tea time. Eternity, endless moments, repetition. And number 25, wake up. It's your moment. Okay, so there is a powerful shift coming in with the New Year energy for you, Group 2. It's like you suddenly realize, wait, this is what's blocking me, or this is what I need to deal with, or these are the changes that I need to make. It's like it suddenly becomes very clear to you what you need to do. Okay, so with It's Always Tea Time, this card really makes me think that you've been stuck in your comfort zone, or that things have become very samey for you in your daily life right now, that things are just muddling along in the same way, and it feels like you're not getting fulfillment. You might be seeing some progress, but very little, and it's just not fulfilling you and getting you to where you really want to be. So you're really determined to make a lot of changes, and it's like a real shake-up, a cosmic shake-up. It's like all of your spiritual team are coming together to say, look, you have these abilities, or you have this opportunity now. Don't let it go to waste. Use this moment. Put your abilities to good use. Don't deny yourself any longer. Step out of your comfort zone, etc. Forget who you are is interesting as well, because that implies that you're changing and growing, and that you're no longer being defined by these past experiences or difficult memories. It's almost like they're being properly processed and put to rest now. So here we've got number 42, Netcaster, preparations come to fruition. I really, really like that, because again, it's about going out there and catching the future that you want, or getting the outcome that you really, really are hoping for, and not just waiting passively for it to happen, but instead actually going out and doing something. It's like you suddenly get that drive that pushes you forward. And we have dancers on one foot, balancing act, number 9. So that could be trying to create a work-life balance. It could be balancing your needs with the needs of another. It could be even just something simple like you want to go outside of your comfort zone, but not so far that you feel completely lost and panicked. It's about, you want to get out there and do things, but you don't want to completely abandon everything you know. It's having that fine balance between everything. Great adventure, yes, take a risk, venture forward. So the new year is really bringing in a lot of energies of excitement, of empowerment, of understanding the abilities that you have and no longer being afraid to use them. I think you've been aware of your abilities for quite a long time, but you've just kind of felt a bit meh about it. You've not really done anything about it. As I said, you've probably become quite comfortable recently and haven't wanted to make many changes. It's gotten quite samey. So on the one hand, you're feeling unfulfilled and you want more progress, but on the other hand, you also don't want to go out and make those big changes because that's a bit scary. But the new year sort of brings you the ability and drive to go out and do that. So that's really exciting. So then we've got fish. Okay, so obviously that makes me think of Pisces a little bit. But let's read from the guidebook, because I do like how this guidebook is written. Fish. Restlessness. Wow, that really, really fits. Change of focus, lost in the current. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. And the Chinese New Year follows the lunar calendar, so we're starting the new year with the new moon in Aquarius. So that's really crazy how that's talking about the lunar energies. So when in balance, this person is adaptable and travels well. When out of balance, they are distracted and they change their mind often. To bring themselves back into balance, they need to set themselves a small goal and accomplish it. So that's a really interesting message about this sort of restlessness that I felt from the It's Always Tea Time vibe. And this ability to wake up and look at the symbols that you've received. You've got a lot to do with the water. So you've got the person who's on the water there, who's caught a fish, or who's got maybe it's a conch shell actually. You've got the net, you've got the boat on the water. So there is a lot of watery imagery. it's all about going out there and catching what you really want, basically, and not just roaming aimlessly, which I feel is what you've been doing for a while. You feel like you've been drifting. So setting yourself clear goals is now important. Okay, so then you've got Ascended Master Kuan Yin and Pearl. Number 29, Divine Rebel. So you may not have chosen Kuan Yin, but Kuan Yin is still showing up for you anyway. That's a beautiful message. So we are going to get that message in just a moment. I'm going to read the guidebook, but I just want to get you a couple of little cards before we do that, just to get them out of the way. Interesting how Pearl is also associated with the water, because it obviously grows inside a clam underwater. And this is going to be the year of the water tiger. So the earth elementals say to you, Gönne dir Zeit zum Wundern und zum Staunen. Okay, and that means allow yourself some time to wonder, basically, for wondrousness, for wondering, and for astonishment. Okay, so it's kind of like taking a step back and maybe evaluating what you've achieved and being like, wow, that's amazing. Or just taking in the beauty of everything that's going on around you. Give yourself permission to take that time. Then you have Nabire Visatu, gain height. I love this card, and it's the 7 of arrows, if that means anything to you, and it fits with the Horus message and the sort of eagle of spirit guide. Gain height, get a higher perspective, see your situation from like the big picture, because I think with the restlessness, it's likely that you've gotten bogged down in the details and the day-to-day and the mundane. And so what you're being told to do now is to go a little bit higher and see things from that higher perspective. And also, I think to really consciously make contact with your spirit guides and these higher sources, because they are clearly available to you right now. It's within your reach to get in contact with them. So going that bit higher can give you wisdom to move forward. Then we've got full moon in Pisces, forgive, which is lovely and fits with how I said I was sort of seeing Pisces with that fish card. So let's take a look at the guidebook for this Kuan Yin card. We'll just read the introduction to see what it can tell us. Number 29, Divine Rebel. We bring you the blessing of the Divine Rebel. Divine rebels shake things up, create a divine disturbance, and refuse to play by the rules. They do this because they love divine love. They know there is nothing as powerful as the unconditional love of the divine. It will have its way in the world, in the hearts of all living beings. It will not be tamed, controlled, restricted, or denied. If there is a rule that gets in the way of that love, then the divine rebel will find another way so that love can have its way. The divine rebel in you is not meant to do things the way others say you should. Some people may become frustrated with you because they won't know why you have to stand up and speak your truth. That's okay. Divine rebels are not always understood, but they are respected by those who are ready to make love more important than fear, and who are willing to contribute constructively towards healing the world. And I think that does actually fit quite nicely with the sort of new moon in Aquarius message about doing things differently and not being afraid to stand up. Okay, so gorgeous messages, really gorgeous messages that you've received so far. We are going to finish up your cards with a God message, because we started out with a goddess message, and then we will move on to your charms and dice, group 2. So let's see what the divine masculine in the world wants to tell you. Okay, so we have number 47, Tia, sacrifice. Now that is super, super interesting because of this message here about the restlessness and wanting something to change. So if you don't know anything about Tia, let me explain to you. Tia is a Germanic and Nordic, Scandinavian, Anglo-Saxon deity. So he covers the kind of northwestern Europe. And Tyr sacrificed his arm to this enormous wolf dog, Fenrir, who you can see here. He's normally depicted quite frighteningly huge. The gods had managed to chain Fenrir, but he wouldn't let them go until a sacrifice was made. So Tyr sacrificed his arm to Fenrir to let them get on with what they needed to do, basically. He understood that he was working towards a greater good. And I kind of feel like that's what's being asked of you at this time, is that you've got your comfort zone, okay? That's what's comfortable to you, or that's what you're happy doing. But you need to sacrifice some of that comfort or some of your time in order to achieve what it is that you want. So you know that you want something different, but you need to do something differently in order to get that. You know, it's like you can't keep doing more of the same and expecting a different result, because if you do more of the same, you're going to get the same. You're going to get more of what you've already got, basically. And so Tyr is recognizing that need to sacrifice time or energy or comfort and, you know, security in order to do something different. What's also extremely interesting to me is that you've got Tyr when the first day of the Chinese New Year this year is landing on a Tuesday, and Tuesday in English means Tyr's day. That's where it's come from. The etymology of the word is Tyr's day. So it is his day that you'll be starting out the new year on. So they just think that's incredible and such a lovely tie-in with everything else that you've been shown. So it doesn't have to be as dramatic a sacrifice as the one that Tyr made so bravely for the greater good, but it's something that you're sacrificing now so that you can be happier later on. And this may not be something that you're any stranger to. In fact, you might be frustrated with yourself because you're used to sacrificing your time or energy or your comfort, but you've just gotten out of the swing of things and you feel a bit crap about it. You feel like, come on, this is who I am. I should be able to do this easily. Yeah, so it's just about getting yourself out of that comfort zone and more focused towards what it is that you're trying to achieve. So let's get your charms and dice on top now, group 2, to get your extra messages. We'll do your charms first. Okay, so we have Sagittarius energy coming through here, which I think fits nicely with that image of like seeing a goal and then going for it. The Sagittarius obviously being the archer symbol. We do also have Saturn, and that's a really interesting message because Saturn is all about discipline and hard work and restricting or limiting yourself for a higher outcome. And I did kind of feel that maybe a lot of you are no stranger to doing that. So Saturn may be quite a prominent planet in your chart, or you may be a Capricorn or have a really strong Capricorn placement, because I did kind of get that you were sort of feeling annoyed with yourself because this isn't something that you would usually struggle with necessarily. So it's just about embodying that Saturnine energy. Not too far. Don't become completely single-minded and, you know, unable to relax or unable to place your focus anywhere else, because I do also get the need for you to give yourself permission to relax. We've got that coming through a few times of just give yourself permission to enjoy this time, or give yourself permission to just have some fun and not to think about this for a period of time, you know. But I do think it is important that you start making changes and let yourself out of that comfort zone a little bit. So then we have the Christmas tree, which is the symbol of winter. Now, obviously, in the Northern Hemisphere, it is winter time as we go into the Chinese New Year, but it can also be like a symbolic winter in your life where you feel like you are lacking an opportunity, or where it's a very empty time. Equally, with it being the Christmas tree, it could point towards the winter being the time where this started, this feeling of restlessness. It might not have been a long-term thing, just something that started in the winter, and now you need to get your momentum going again. We've got the magic bag, which is the symbol of magic and abundance. And I think that's lovely because it fits so well with this message of the magician and you having these abilities that you can really put to good use. We've got growth landing on Tia's card, so that's really nice. The ability to grow. And I do feel like a lot of you are really gifted psychically or magically in some way. And you can really use that to help you achieve the outcomes that you're looking for. We do have love hanging by a thread. Okay, so this charm comes in when we feel like a relationship is about to fail, or where we feel like our life is seriously lacking in love. And now that's landing on the Netcaster card about catching what you're looking for. So maybe you've been going a long time without love, or you are in a relationship that you feel has run its course and you're just not really sure how to end it or how to change things in any way. That could be a message for some of you. We do also have the Chamber of Secrets entrance charm, which is symbolic of battling a monster or opening a can of worms, sort of dealing with something that's very, very painful or difficult, but which does need to be dealt with so that it's not lurking underneath the school in your psyche for any longer. And of course that is landing on that Death and the Maiden card, which I do often feel is connected to really deep trauma from the past. So I do think that some of you are choosing to engage with therapy or counseling or some kind of professional healing as you go into the new year. And then finally we've got the goddess Morrigan. So you've got another deity showing up. The goddess Morrigan is the Celtic goddess of battle and warfare and death as well. So this putting an end to a situation, this sort of turbulent feeling of change. It's frightening, obviously, to get outside of your comfort zone, but I think she's also embodying that warrior spirit that I feel like you're going to embody as you go on this adventure, this drive that pushes you forward, the need to keep going, because in a battle you can't just stop or turn around. You've got to keep going and keep moving forward. That's the warrior spirit that I think is being ignited within you as we enter the new year. So we'll see what your dice are bringing you as well, group 2, just to finish up your reading. So we're rolling the third set of dice for you, the mystery dice. And we're rolling 6 of them for you today. Okay. Okay, so we've got the carousel or merry-go-round, and that really fits with this vibe of restlessness, of feeling like nothing's changing, like you're continuing to go round and round, or you're repeating something, and you've got it again. You've got it again there with the film reel, which also means the same thing for me, going round and round, or where you're sort of repeating the same scenes in your head, because obviously it's a film reel, so like watching the same thing over and over, going through a situation again and again and sort of torturing yourself with it, or not being able to put it to rest, basically. We've got the pawn, this feeling of being expendable, or like you're it's kind of like where you don't feel significant in your own life. Maybe you expected to have more recognition or a higher status in life by now. Maybe you thought a project would have really taken off by now and it hasn't, and that's left you feeling like, well, what do I do? I'm reevaluating maybe my view of myself or my life path in general. You're feeling expendable. And here we've got the missing poster, or the wanted poster, which tells us that something's missing from your life, or that you're aware of what you want. Okay. Then we've got the person who is zip-lipped, someone who doesn't want to talk, who's not willing to engage, who's keeping things quiet. And this is landing on full moon in Pisces, forgive. So it's possible that in order to forgive someone or to put a situation to rest, you need to talk about it, either with that person or, as I said before, with a professional. Feels like some of you are really engaging with that in the new year. And then finally the siren, this sort of like loud and clear message landing on you of changed quickly, changed in the night. So it's like a very sudden realization, this waking up moment. This is your moment. This is my time. This is what I need to do. I can't wait any longer. I need to start doing this, or I need to put my energy and my focus here. I can't just keep doing the same thing anymore. So it's like a real awakening for you as we enter the new year. group 2, but that's what I'm seeing in your reading. Really exciting message and lots of transformation coming your way, lots of evolution. Thank you so much for watching, and please do let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. I would love to hear from you, and if you enjoyed it, please do like, share and subscribe as well. It really helps me to get seen more on YouTube and get these messages to as many people as possible. Check out my description box or the comment that I post below if you're interested in the work that I do. There are all sorts of links down there, so follow me on Instagram for daily oracle cards, head over to Patreon to become a patron, offer regular support to the channel, and in exchange get exclusive content and all of the kinds of things that are available over on Patreon just for patrons. Head over to my Etsy page to book a private reading or healing session with me. I also offer information about your guardian angel over there. I have 2 wish lists linked below if you would like to send a new deck to the channel. A lovely gift, that would be very kind of you. Thank you to everyone who has ever done that. I also have my PayPal link for tips and donations below if you would like to just leave a small amount to support the work that I do. That is also very much appreciated, so thank you to everyone who does that. And we still have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. If you would like to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewelry, then head over to the link that is linked down below that will validate the discount code. Apply the discount code Violet at checkout and you will get 10% off your first order and also free international shipping as well. So thank you so much for being here, group 2. Have a lovely rest of your day and a wonderful start to your Chinese New Year. 新年快乐. And yeah, take care of yourselves and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hey there, group 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose Kali Ma, this is going to be your messages about what the Chinese New Year is bringing into your life, what energies it's bringing forward. So we'll get your message from Kali Ma first of all. Please do subscribe as well if you haven't already, group 3, so that you never miss any videos that I upload. Okay. So from Kali Ma you have 2 messages actually. You have number 10, Kundalini Shakti, and you also have number 39, Moksha of Kali. Okay, so we're going to read from the guidebook, just the little introductions to both of these cards. So we'll start out with Kundalini Shakti, number 10. Hers is the arising consciousness that evokes instability within, clearing the inner pathways for higher consciousness to manifest. Inner disturbance and instability wrought by Kundalini Shakti is an obscuring grace. Internal disorder is a necessary step towards divine reorganization. Reassure your heart that no matter what may appear to be, at a spiritual level all is well. Outworn energy is being processed and broken apart. From the ashes of your inner fire you shall emerge anew. Let what needs to happen, happen. Okay, and then number 39, Moksha of Kali, says her passionate desire for your liberation is unflagging, and so your relief shall come swiftly. She is speaking to you from within. She is the voice of reassurance. Can you hear her? Trust her? Soon you will see things in a better light. You are going to be liberated from the struggle you are currently experiencing. Be true to yourself and your life path, and you will attract the way forward as obstacles disappear. Do not turn away, for you are destined to overcome all opposition, bringing your sacred path to fruition. Okay, lovely. So there's a message here, isn't there, about change in terms of things sort of being shaken up within you. Okay, I feel as though what Kali Ma is telling you is that there may be a period of restlessness or instability, or like a feeling of things shaking up on the inside and you not really knowing what's happening there, what's going on. You might be a little bit confused or even frightened as we enter the new year, but this is because it is clearing out the things that you don't need to bring with you anymore and liberating you from that which holds you back. Moksha means freedom or liberation. So if you are experiencing this sense of restlessness or instability or insecurity right now, please trust that it is happening for a reason and that there will be a positive result to that. That's what Kali Ma is telling you. So let's take a look at your tarot, group 3. We're using the Circle of Life tarot because I thought that fit quite nicely with the Chinese New Year theme. Okay, so we've got the Three of Cups here. Lovely card, a sort of shaman card. We also have the Tower. That makes an awful lot of sense, group 3. And the Ace of Pentacles. Now this is interesting actually, because group 2's reading went the Magician, Three of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so you've got 2 of their cards, but just not quite in the same order. So yeah, the Three of Cups. This is a lovely card because it talks about you spending more time with loved ones and being able to have more fun. It's a more light-hearted, optimistic card. Then we've got the Tower, which tells us that there are these changes going on in your life right now. There is this sense of things being shaken up, things being kind of insecure or unstable or restless. It might seem quite destructive or turbulent for a while, but then it will settle down and you will realize exactly why that was happening and why that needed to happen. And then with the Ace of Pentacles, we have this message of being able to move into this new beginning, especially with regards to career, health, finance, and sort of personal goals. So your ability to achieve and to move forward positively, and to sort of, I guess, once the Tower is being broken down and that soil has been made fertile, it's like there's a firm foundation for you to then build upon, because it feels like right now, as we enter the new year, the foundations that you're placed on are a little bit shaky. They're not quite optimal for you to grow higher and higher and taller, so we need to break that down in order to have a great foundation for you to build on. So we'll get a message from the Ancestors now, group 3, because ancestors are really important in Chinese culture. Okay, so we have Enjoy New Beginnings. That's the perfect card. Celebrate, socialize, change. And there's that socialize going on there with the Three of Cups, and celebrate. And then be an open channel. Mediumship, ancestors, spirits. Okay, so being able to channel higher wisdom or higher energy. Let's just bring some more light into the room. I was just shading the other piles from the sun, but now it's gone in a little bit, so I think it's safe to draw that curtain back. Okay, here we have Eclipse Mermaid, number 10, a powerful energy shift. Love that card, and it's a number 10, and you got the number 10 as your first card. So a powerful energy shift is happening, and you know, as I said, it might feel very destructive or turbulent or out of your control, so there might be a little bit of fear there, or panic in terms of, you know, I can't control this, or this seems to be really big, or I'm not really sure exactly where I'm headed, what the direction is, and that frightens me. This is just about trusting in the higher power, making yourself stable and secure. Like if you think of it as being like a thunderstorm, like a really powerful thunderstorm with strong winds and lashing rain and lightning, what you're going to do is you're going to make yourself safe and secure. You're going to find something to shelter in, something that is strong and unlikely to collapse or be battered by the wind. And you're not going to worry about holding up every little thing so that it doesn't get knocked over or rained on or, you know, blown over. You're just going to protect what's vital to you, and then you're going to run for cover and keep yourself safe and secure. So that's my advice for you metaphorically during this time of change, is do what you can to salvage what's extremely important to you, but other than that, protect and save yourself. First of all, go and stay somewhere stable, do what you can to remain grounded and secure, and just allow everything else to reshape around you. And this card very much fits with that as well. Fairy of the Highlands, number 20, it's time to be brave. So it's time for courage as we go forward into these changes. The new year definitely brings about a huge shake-up for you, group 3. Okay, messages for a rabbit, number 15, services to the animal world. That's a very interesting message. Now, seeing as you've got like a shaman on this Three of Cups card, this could be about connecting to your animal spirit guide or a totem animal for protection or strength during this time of change. It could literally be that you are spending time with a pet and that's keeping you grounded. It could be that spending time in nature helps you to feel stable during this time of change, as that's like a constant in your life, reminding you that life goes on. Things continue to, just muddle along. Even if things change massively in your own life, the cycle of nature is still going to continue in the same way. We'll get snowdrops and crocuses and daffodils in the same order that we always see them. The animals will go on living their life. Perfect storm, number 44. That's incredible, group 3. The courage to step into life. Wow. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it fits a lot of your cards together, obviously, like the bravery, the courage, the powerful energy shift, the storm, but just using that analogy of the storm that I mentioned, just crazy. And to have an animal there as well on a tree branch, tying in the nature aspect. That's amazing. I love it when the cards do that. And you've got a power number there, number 44, a master number. Okay, discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. So this could be partly connected to the tower energy, is that you discover an important truth, maybe about another person, maybe about a project you're working on or a situation that you're in, and that acts as a catalyst for you to make more informed choices. Might not be an easy or comfortable truth to sit with or to live with, but it's a truth nonetheless. It's releasing lies and deception and illusion. Okay, so your animal energy is beaver. This could be the animal that you're channeling as the beaver, who obviously makes themselves quite a safe home, and who is very hardworking and who perseveres through the difficult times. But let's see what the guidebook has to say about that card. I do like this guidebook. The way that it's written is quite good. Beaver, hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first. The beaver personality is a welcomed sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of the earth element, providing a home, financial stability, etc. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started they'll work steadily for weeks, months or years to see it through. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga, selfless service. When in balance, this person is happy and engages in meaningful work. When out of balance, they feel useless or worn out. And to bring themselves back into balance, they need to engage in physical labor or selfless service. Okay, so also keeping yourself physically busy during times of change can also be quite grounding and can get up a lot of pent energy. Whoa! And then the earth elementals want to tell you Beweglichkeit, das Leben ist ein Tanz. That's perfect. Movement is what they're saying. Life is a dance. So yeah, physical movement could be very useful for you, especially if you're feeling restless or frustrated, to get out that built up energy. Oh, a few cards from this deck. So we have Experimentirui, the 11 of crosses, experiment, and that is like an imperative. It's like, experiment, give this a try, do something new. Okay, so that's your first card. Then we've got Развивай се внутри, which is also an imperative, and it's saying develop within, or grow or evolve within. Okay, so that makes so much sense given what Kali Ma was telling us. That's the 11 of circles. So we've got the 11 of crosses and the 11 of circles. So 11 coming through twice, and that's another master number, like 44, because it's a double number. And then we've got Slušaj Morje, listen to the sea, the 4 of crosses. And look at this. The shaman in this card has a conch shell which is attached to a pipe, and he's either playing it or he's blowing into it or something. But it's interesting how it's sort of like it's connecting him to the sea and to the conch shell. That's a really interesting symbol to appear twice in your reading. So maybe the sea, obviously with the eclipse mermaid as well, I didn't pick up on that initially. The sea as being like this calming force. Maybe you like to listen to sea waves if that's something that you know, if you don't live near the sea and you can't easily access it, or taking a stroll by the sea if you're lucky enough to live near it, just as that way to keep you grounded. You know, we were talking about nature as being a way to keep you grounded, and I think possibly the sea, especially being something that is very repetitive and very samey in that sense, might help you stay grounded and to know that life does go on and things do remain the same in nature, even when things feel very out of control in your own life. And the sea is quite a good just symbol, purely because it also is about change and evolution and growing. It's a very healing element. Whoa. Okay, so then you've got number 25, Ascended Master Yogananda and Rhodonite, Empowered Service. And that is extremely interesting given that you got the beaver talking about selfless service. And then you have number 6, Angel Amethyl and Blue Obsidian, Revelation, when you've literally got discovering truth. I mean, this is just crazy. Group 3, I love it. So let's read the little guidebook entries in the introduction for both of these cards. So number 25, Ascended Master Yogananda and Rhodonite. We bring you the blessing of empowered service. It is time to assume your place in the world at the table of the masters, who serve the loving hand of the divine. You have been asking for your purpose to be more clearly unveiled and manifested in the world. You have endured lessons of patience. You have learned that spiritual progress can be made even without results being immediately obvious. You have learned trust and a willingness to surrender your personal desires into a larger plan. We know that of which you are capable, and we now invite you to step into the next level of empowered service available to your soul in service to the greater plan of divine love unfolding. So it's serving the divine plan, something much higher than our individual will or ego. And then Angel Amethyl and Blue Obsidian says, we bring you the gift of revelation. There are times when not knowing is helpful. During such times, you develop unconditional trust in the universe. That trust will then support you in living your life according to your personal truths. You need a lot of trust in yourself and in life to live with such courage. Not knowing the bigger picture can help you stay focused on what you need to do right now, rather than getting so excited about the future that you become distracted from the work that needs to be accomplished in the present moment, unwittingly slowing down your progress and delaying the very future you want to draw closer to you. However, there are other times when it is more helpful to know, to understand, to see. A particular truth will help you gain perspective, let go of the past, heal a wound and feel safer, feel more loved, more empowered and ready for the next step on your life journey. This is one of those times. We bring you the helpful gift of revelation now because you are ready to know a deeper truth. Okay, so there is some truth or realization or epiphany perhaps that you're discovering as we enter the new year. So that is really interesting. Really, really interesting. Might not happen exactly on the new year, obviously, but in the early days or weeks of the new year, once that energy is really settled in, that could be when this happens for you. Oh. Then you have 2 cards here. The full moon in Sagittarius, see the bigger picture. Okay, so seeing your situation from a higher perspective, greater than just what you're dealing with right now. And full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. Okay, so both of those sort of seem to be involved in getting to the facts, don't they? And not dwelling on the small things or the minute details that can hold you back and cause you to overanalyze. So we started out your reading with a message from the goddess, from Kali Ma, and so we're going to end your cards before we move on to your charms and dice. We're going to end your cards with a message from a god. So we'll see which god that's going to be, what advice the divine masculine in the world has for you right now. Okay, so we have number 14, Freya, peace. Freya is a Germanic deity who is associated with sort of the harvest, as you can see, and with vegetation and verdure and basically anything that's sort of lush and luxuriant, especially nature. So he would definitely encourage you to get out in the natural world, whether that's in the sort of earthy natural world with the earth elementals here who are advocating movement, or the sea, or maybe from a high vantage point, the sort of air, if you like to walk on hills or on the mountains, that can help you get that big high perspective that the full moon in Sagittarius is advocating. So Freya is talking about peace. And he's saying that your power in this situation lies in finding peace. So Freya accepted that he would eventually be killed one day in order to have what he wanted in the moment. So it's sort of about making your peace with the situation. And I kind of oscillated between deciding whether to use sacrifice as his word, but I ended up using sacrifice as the word for a different god, for Tyr. And yeah, Freya instead to me really conjures up connotations of peace, because he was a very peaceful deity and a very peaceful king and ruler. So he's coming towards you now to remind you of the importance of peace. Sometimes when everything is just so turbulent in your life and you're going through changes and you are frustrated, you may just want to rage against the universe and scream and shout and, really let out all of those emotions. But Freya is saying, look, the best thing you can do for yourself right now is to find some peace, whether that is peace in accepting the situation and accepting the truth that you learn, even if it's a very uncomfortable one, whether it is accepting that there are some things beyond your control and just surrendering to the changes that are happening without trying to fight them or wrestle against them or control the outcome, or whether it is just trying to find some peace for yourself in the moment that helps you to get through a difficult situation, making a small microcosm of safety and peace and comfort and coziness for yourself, like the beaver who makes their sort of cozy little home. Make your home your sanctuary, or make your room your sanctuary, or do this on a Tuesday, or do whatever you can to have that sense of comfort, whether it's having a routine that you're able to implement, whether it is telling yourself, okay, for an hour before bedtime, I'm not going to think about work, I'm not going to answer my phone, I'm just going to do this thing for myself that I really, really like reading my favorite book, or watching a movie, or catching up on TV shows I haven't had a chance to watch, or meditating, or taking a bath, and just doing that thing that is really nourishing to you. So Freya is advocating peace. Okay, so we'll move on now to your charms and dice. I love that we've managed to get this lovely duality of the opening with the goddess and closing with the god in each reading. So we'll do your charms first, group 3. See what they can tell us. Okay, so we have Leo's energy coming out here as well. So we've got a few, haven't we? We've got Capricorn, we've got Sagittarius, and now we've also got Leo. We've got the calculator, working out what you want, figuring out what you need. That could also be to do with managing your finances more efficiently or more clearly. We've got the fish. This one always makes me think of Dory, like just keep swimming. So it's literally just keep going through these tough times. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Get through it one day, 1 week, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second at a time if you need to. Break everything down into smaller chunks of time, or smaller, more manageable tasks, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed by the week ahead or even the day ahead. Put little timers on your phone that count down the time so that you can see, I've only got 10 minutes left of this, or it's just this amount of time until I can leave this behind. Whatever works for you to manage yourself through that tough time. We do have anxiety about timing. showing up here with the Alice clock. So that could be that you think things are moving too quickly, or you're worried that things aren't moving quickly enough, like it's too slow, there's not enough progress, there's a sense of stasis, or like I said, moving too quickly, like everything's going so fast I can't control it, I can't process it, I can't take it in. So let's just go back to Freya down here, advocating peace and making something for you that is something you can return to, that is nourishing and cozy and life affirming, really. And I think that's what Kali wants for you as well. She's saying acknowledge this restlessness within you and do what you can, maybe through exercise to get it out, or through whatever other form you can use to get it out in a healthy way. But that doesn't mean that you have to just completely submit to the restless feeling and just be okay feeling like that. You know, nourish yourself, take care of yourself. We've got the hare here, which is a symbol of springtime. So that could be when the change finally sets in for you. We've also got the worry thread. Okay, so that anxiety showing up. The hare is also a symbol of fertility. It fits very well with Freya as a symbol, actually. And it's also talking about your uniqueness. We have this phrase, as mad as a March hare, like just being yourself and not apologizing for that. So I think that all ties in. Incredibly, we've got the mermaid charm on the solar eclipse mermaid card. This charm very rarely comes out. I can't remember the last time I saw it, actually. I think because it's so slim and little, it just easily doesn't get picked up. So the mermaid is talking about seduction, being pulled down a certain path, or feeling seduced, or drawn down a certain path, like drawn to do something, or trying to bring certain things towards you, like that manifesting mindset where you're trying to draw things in. So it could be you that's being drawn in, or you that's trying to bring things towards you. Just interpret that how you resonate with it. And then we've got the cat that's got the cream. Okay, the satisfied, happy, fulfilled cat. So possibly being a channel and channeling higher wisdom can help you feel more fulfilled and safe and secure in your daily life. But definitely, I think there's a strong focus here on, as you go through these changes, prioritize your mental health and your physical health, because there's, as I said, mention of movement, and that being a good way to let out energy that's built up. And also, if you exercise regularly, like, it really does have a strong effect on your mental health as well. The endorphins that get released sort of have a cumulative effect. Even if you do it, maybe go to the gym twice a week, or do an exercise routine as often as that, you'll feel a lot better holistically. So group 3 will also do your dice now to get your final messages. So we're going to roll the 5th set of dice for you, and those are the actions dice, which I think already tells you a lot about what the new year is bringing in for you. And we're rolling 4 of them for you. Okay. Yes, look, there we go. There's the person exercising. And that doesn't mean that you have to go all out in the gym and lift weights or anything. Just that physical movement is a good way to release this energy, and also to help yourself feel more in control of something in your life. Equally, this is a symbol of working hard for me and putting in effort. So that fits nicely with the beaver message as well, of putting your focus in an area. We have got the person who has got a sore thumb and is crying about it. So there's something that you're upset about at the moment, or as we enter the new year, something that you're upset about that you want to change. And it could just be this overall mood of restlessness, as we've mentioned already, this sense of falling, like you're not in control. You know, I think that's really what Kali is acknowledging, is as we go through this period of change, you feel out of control. Like there's so much stuff that I can't change, or that I can't determine by myself. And that's uncomfortable. So that's why Freya is such a nice counteraction with Kali here, to say this is what you can do to make yourself feel more in control, whilst also surrendering the outcome to higher forces. And then finally, we've got the match burning through this piece of paper, which just symbolizes endings, cutting cords, making your peace with anything which no longer serves you and releasing it gently. Purification as well really comes in with that dice as well. So it's a real clean break for you, but quite a dramatic one. I think the new year, you're kind of a little bit tired, I think, by the end of all of this, but ultimately it is pushing you forward into a much better experience, a much more liberating experience of your daily life. So, group 3, that's what I'm seeing in your reading. There is definitely going to be this truth and revelation. Please do something to make yourself feel more peaceful, and to help yourself feel more in control and more healthy as well in all aspects of your life. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. I'd really love to hear what you thought of the reading. Please do like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video, because that really helps me to get seen more on YouTube. It's a lovely way to show your gratitude for the work that I do, and it means that we can get these messages to as many people as possible. And if you're interested in the work that I do and you'd like to get more involved, check out the description box below or the comment that I post in the comments section. They are always full of links. So follow me on Instagram for daily oracle cards. Head over to Patreon and consider becoming a patron. I would love to see you over there. And that's where you can support the channel on a more regular basis and in return get access to exclusive content, including extra picker cards and giveaways and healing sessions and other things. You can head over to my Etsy page to book a private reading or healing session with me. Down below I also have 2 wish lists linked if you would like to send a new deck to the channel. If you're feeling very generous and kind and would like to send a gift in, that would be so lovely. Thank you so much to everyone who has done that and everyone who is considering that. I do also have my PayPal link listed below, which is for tips and donations if you would like to support me in the work that I do and help me keep making these videos. Any amount is very gratefully appreciated and received, so thank you so much again for anyone who's done that. And we still have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestation, so if you'd like to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewelry with free international shipping, then just use the link that is down below. That will validate the discount code, and then you can apply the code VIOLET at checkout, and that will get you your 10% off your first order. So thank you for being here, Group 3. Have a lovely rest of your day and an incredible New Year experience. 新年快乐. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.